Hey guys, it's Justin again with another quick tutorial. This is going to be a tutorial on making your own light box, and it's going to be on the cheap. It's got its pros and cons, and it's definitely a little different from using a light box that you can buy. But I think as far as photo quality and things of that nature, it's just as effective, if not more so, than using one of those. But we'll go over pros and cons later. This is definitely a cheaper alternative. So what you're going to need is just a handful of things, not too much. You're going to need, of course, a box. That's the first thing you're going to need. You're going to need a backdrop. I went with blue because my Walmart, for some reason, is sold out of black and white paper. So blue was my next best option. You're going to need a pad of tracing paper, a knife, a pair of scissors, a Sharpie, not really needed but it helps, at least 2 clamps, and some tape. Now I got a box that's entirely too large. As I normally do, I've went a little bit ridiculous and just got the biggest box that we had at work. The box shouldn't cost you anything at all. I believe the pad of tracing paper, which the entire pad has 40 sheets, I think it was like $1 at Walmart. This sheet of paper was like 60-some cents, I think. I don't know. But it's just poster board. It's just flexible paper. As long as you can bend it, you should be good. The clips came in a pack. I think I bought like a huge pack of papers and stuff, or clips and stuff, and they cost, I think, like $4 for like 50 clips. Scissors, everybody has scissors. Knife was like $5 maybe. So now the first thing you want to do is probably make it so your box is wider than it is tall, and you're going to cut these stupid flaps off. We'll do that later. But you're going to decide which side is the top, what's the sides, and how you're going to use this thing. Now my paper's wide. It's actually wider than the box, so I'm going to have to cut that down just a little bit to make it fit properly. You can just use scissors to do that. I'm going to go ahead and mark on this box where I'm going to be cutting it. So I'm going to use my Sharpie for that. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a line out back here. And the reason for that is so I can slide my paper in and clip it. So it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. It's just kind of a guideline for me. So just a little thing over here. Now depending on your lighting setup, you're going to do multiple different cuts, I guess. So I use a 2-lamp setup for my photos, so I'm going to put basically just 2 windows on the side here. And since this box has a bunch of stuff on it, I can kind of use the pictures as like a guide. I'm basically just going to cut around this picture of the cup. Try not to make it too large, because I'm going to basically tape tracing paper over this. So I think I'm just going to cut around the cup itself. And then I can adjust the size as needed later. But if you're using a more elaborate lighting setup, a 3rd window could be cut across the top to eliminate all shadows and things like that. I don't have enough space for 3 lamps yet, so 2 will be sufficient. And then I'm just going to cut these out using the knife to score through the box, and then the scissors to finish the job. going to cut this here, and I'll come back when I've cut all these out. I'm sure you know how scissors work. Okay, so once you've cut all your windows off and the flaps and all that stuff, I left the bottom flap here because it doesn't really matter. I cut my paper. It actually fits pretty snugly, but I'm going to put these clips on the top anyway. Basically, you can just cut that little flap out, and it makes like a little window. And you slide that in, and you kind of put a curve to it, and your paper is pretty much set up. That's as easy as that is. Now the last step you have to do is you take 2 sheets of this tracing paper, or however many windows you cut out, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just going to use masking tape for this. And I'm literally just going to like that. And I've already messed this up. Oh, no, no. Okay. And you just want to make enough to cover the window. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. It can look as good or as bad as you want to make it. Just as long as you've got something to filter that light. And that's all this is something to filter your light. We'll do the other side. Now, alternatively, you can make an even cheaper lighting setup using like the outside of the box, which I might show that off as well. With a little bit less work, actually. Now I'm feeling kind of dumb. By kind of skipping the whole cutting the windows thing out, you can just sort of clip these to the outside of the box and drape it out, and then tape these over your lamps, and you'll get a very similar effect. The only difference between this and that is with this you have like an enclosed area that you're going to be photographing in, rather than taking pictures on the outside of the thing. So but there you go. So your photo tent is complete and ready to use. Now, the advantages to using this as opposed to going out and buying your own, it's obviously a lot cheaper. I think my photo tent cost me $30 or $40 maybe. It was really expensive, but it's fabric. It's pretty sturdy. It's compact, things like that. So this is a lot cheaper than that. And requires a little bit more, do-it-yourself. The photo quality is basically the exact same. You just have to do a little bit of toying around with it to get it set up properly. But once it's set up, and the pictures look, again, like I said, just as good as if you had bought a photo tent. The disadvantages of this isn't as compact. You can't really, you can break this down. You just unclip the paper and take it out, and then you can cut the back out and fold it up and then stick it somewhere, or but that's really it. It's besides having to build it yourself and not being as compact, it's just as good as a regular photo tent. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up and take some pictures of something I've finished, and then we will wrap this up, I guess. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.